You're listening to ArTEEtude, a podcast with artists created and produced by Detlef Schlich, a visual artist and ritual designer, living and loving in West Cork, and best known for his essay about the cause and effect of shamanism, art and digital culture. Working in the field of performance, photography, painting, sound, installations, and film, he will dive and discover with us and a weekly creative guest into the unknown and exciting deep ocean of the creative mind.
This is Detlef Schlich, and today we dive into the deep and unknown ocean, exciting ocean of the creative mind, together with Stephen Drojensky. And first of all, hi Stephen. Great to have you in this show again. That's nice. Stephen is an old school punker, an old school punk guitarist, and he used to play in a lot of bands. Cliff Roman, he suggested me Stephen because Cliff Roman used to be one of the founders of the South Californian Punk Rock in the 70s with the Weirdos. And now he started to have a reunion with the Weirdos called Roman's Weirdos, and they are flying now. They're gonna go into the Foo Fighters studio soon. And Cliff asked me, say, "Hey, what do you think? So, would you like to have Stephen in your podcast?" And I say, "Yeah, you know what? That's great," because I didn't speak with Cliff since a year almost since our last podcast, and it's a good chance to somehow to catch up with that. So it's great, Steve, to have you here. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. And we finished the last part with Steven's eclectic music tastes in early years. I mean, far more earlier than when other children still eat their baby food. Stephen was already chewing his 45 records.
Mm-hmm.
I would say. I mean, I can imagine that you with your little plastic 45 thing. Yeah. She loves you. Yeah.
I have a picture here with it.
Yeah. Do you?
Find it. Yeah.
You know what? This picture, you have to send it to me because I need them as well for.
Oh yeah, you can. Okay, you won't see it anyway. So.
Send it to my promotion. I need pictures of you for my promo because I need these pictures as well to create a collage for your Hall of ArTEEtude mug.
Okay.
So because Steve is now in the Hall of ArTEEtude as well. So, but you can't buy this mug now because my shop is hacked. So, and I hope I can sort that this year and get the PayPal system running that people can go to www.arteetude.com and but at least you can see it, you know.
Yeah.
So, cool. I would say we continue with that now. So and you were it's quite young. You said in the last podcast you were 9 years old and you get your first trumpet. And your first trumpet lessons, you start to learn to read notes as well. Did you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the school or with your teacher, with a trumpet teacher?
With my trumpet teacher.
All right.
And then so we were taking lessons. He also took me to see other trumpet players. I don't know if you remember Maynard Ferguson.
No.
School trumpet. He played with Stan Kenton's orchestra. Oh, this goes back to, we were also learning like old big band, from the 40s, post-war, pre-war, post-war, Glenn Miller, Tommy Dorsey, Count Basie, and songs like that.
And later Miles Davis, no?
Yeah, Miles Davis and stuff like that. So we would do that, and then Ray would have a gig at different like colleges, city colleges, or Cal State colleges, where they would put on like a Broadway show. So they have an orchestra for the show.
Yeah.
So one night I was still like 9 or 10, and he brought me on a gig. And he goes, I go, I'm really scared, man. I don't know if I'm going to mess up. He goes, you're not going to mess up. And yeah, so it was a Broadway. It was called Seesaw. It was like an old musical.
So that means he went with you as in your age of 10 to a Broadway show, and you had to stay on stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then the people in the band and the cast were like, "What's this 10-year-old kid doing here?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, he's gonna sit in and play like the fourth." You had like 4 different parts, like first trumpet, second trumpet, third, fourth.
Yeah.
So I would play the fourth because I was just playing.
So he had
solo yet or anything. No.
So he had 4 trumpets.
Yeah.
4 trumpet player.
Yeah.
And as well another brass section or.
Oh yeah, trombones, everything. Just
so how many people? Oh, how many people were on stage?
Oh, probably and just in the orchestra, probably like say 30.
Okay.
30 piece, something like that. 30,
all right. Okay. So your the responsibility was not just laid on you.
Yeah. No, I asked him. I go, can I go on a gig? And he goes, are you sure? And I said, yeah. And he doesn't remember it to this day, but I do. I still talk to him actually. He lives in Rhode Island now.
Yeah.
And he's up to he's like 70. He's 76 now. Yeah, he's 76. But
so he was
still
just
59.
He was just 26 as he was your teacher. He was quite young then.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like this. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's nice, isn't it? I mean, that are great experiences. I mean, you see that are things where I must say, you see, I started very early with this peer-to-peer experimenting, So I was very early where you were in more in early record list. I was in early experimenting, So with peer-to-peers, I was recording because my father, he used to work at a WDR. It's a German broadcast station, and he had all the new technology stuff, and I was into that. But he somehow didn't understand that I was so keen already to with 5, 6, to play around with it, that nobody really support me, So that's unfortunately I miss. And with the music I started as well with guitar playing, but that I must say it was my fault. I was too lazy to continue that with 10, 11, 12 because my music teacher was he started with classic music and I was not interested in that, So I started quite late back in my 20s actually with my bands. Instead, you probably started earlier, didn't you? You had your first band then was 10.
Well, that was just one gig that we went on, but I wasn't asked to join after that, but because they were much older, and so from there, I was having some trouble in school, grammar school, junior high school, but I went into the orchestra at junior high school. And then also, I'm going to backtrack a second. So before I went from grammar school, we had a teacher named Mrs. Schmidt. That's so German. Schmidt, yeah.
It's very German. Our chancellor was the name of him, Helmut Schmidt.
Yeah, and I can't remember her first name for the life of me, but she taught nylon string acoustic guitar. This was like 4th or 5th grade, and we were able to check out the guitars and take them home, and they give us a little chord chart, and we were doing this horrible songs like in the mid-70s, and it was like John Denver and
Country roads, or what? Country roads.
Country roads, country
Take
roads.
me home.
Yeah,
to
something like that.
the
Well, it's not that horrible.
West Virginia,
it's not that horrible, but
country mama, take me home, country roads. No,
yeah, that was it. That's it.
Well,
Very good. And then from there, I was at a summer camp. That was probably like 5th or 6th grade. And more people, the counselors there would have acoustic guitars.
Yeah, sure.
And
the bonfire.
They were playing Beatles stuff. And then
how old have you been there? How old have you been there? What was it? 14, 12, 13, 14?
That point, yeah, like 12, 11, 12, probably.
So all the girls loved you. So little Stephen playing his Beatles song on the guitar.
Yeah, and then I brought all the albums to school. I got all the new singles and albums. We'd have like not playtime, but show and tell. So we bring, I got the new blah 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 album and this album, that album, and then so I bring that to school.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is still the mid-70s, so it's like the Osmond brothers.
The Osmond brothers. Yeah. Crazy Horse. Let's go.
I brought that to school. That was like, oh wow, this is cool. Steve's cool, and I have like some crushes. Some little crushes in school there, and
the Osmonds, they used to be Mormons, didn't they?
Yeah, they still are.
I know. Yeah.
That was their one heavy rock album, the Crazy Horses. It was like the heavy, like the Marshall amps, and
I'm not sure. I know. Okay, I know Crazy Horses from the Osmonds. But I'm not sure if I bought this album. I don't know. Was it good?
Yeah, I bought it.
Yeah,
it's still out there. And a lot of punk rockers I've noticed have gone back to that album too. They grew up in my era. So and yours too. Yeah, it was crazy. And then I brought in. I was buying more singles still every week at the local record store up here on the Burbank Mall, which is now a big gentrified mess. But it was Michelle's Record City, and he would like hold him in the back. He'd be like, Steve, every Tuesday a new single would come out. Like, Steve, you got to hear this one. This one just came out today. This one came out this week.
Where did you have the money from?
Allowance. We got allowance,
Allowance?
And
but you were too young to get allowance.
If you did like chores at home and make your bed, help with the dishes, pick up the leaves in the yard, you can take out the trash, and you get like a few bucks like a week, I don't know, like $5 a week or something like that. But every penny went to records, pretty much.
All right.
Every single penny.
I mean, my case as well. I mean, I started with 8 years to buy my first. When did you buy your first record?
Probably, like 7, 8 years old.
What was it? Can you remember that?
The first one I bought?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I can't remember. No, I can't remember the first one I bought. Oh, the first record wasn't a single, but it was I saved up a whole like $5 and I bought Magical Mystery Tour, the album. The Beatles Magical Mystery Tour.
Did you?
Yeah.
So
I
your
think I
sis-
was,
so your sisters didn't buy it. You had to buy it or what?
no, I had to buy it. They took me to the store though, and I bought it. And I remember it came with the color booklet inside the album. And I didn't see the movie till later on, or the TV show. I guess that was a TV show. It was in England in late '60s. But I liked the record, and it had Strawberry Fields on it, and it had Penny Lane on it, and it had a bunch of weird, drugged out stuff on there.
You were listening to that already earlier, so as you were 5 or 4, wasn't it? So was it the best of album or what? Strawberry Fields? I don't know.
The best of. Oh, it's probably the ones you were talking about. Those blue and red.
Yeah, that was red. They were best ofs, wasn't it?
Yeah, the best of, and then I think I got those second, like around the same time after Magical Mystery Tour.
On the second, I think there was I'm a Walrus, all this progressive songs where it came on the second. On the first it was more the older ones. The red one was the older.
Yeah.
And Aplada. I mean, I mean, I thought, okay, so it's Beatles, all right, good, So I felt a little bit disappointed as I was listening to this song, but that happens sometimes. Bands do mistakes, né?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
That's great. So it's just for the listener, because in the first episode, Stephen explained us that he could listen to a lot of songs, as in the age of 3 or 4, because his sisters they had all those records as well, so which is very handy.
Yeah.
And it's quite cool. In my case, it was my cousins, because my father, he had this two Beatles albums, and he had Demis Roussos, and he had a band, Aphrodite's Child. Aphrodite's Child. Do you know this band?
I've heard of them, but no, I haven't heard their music.
And he was, and Demis Roussos was the lead singer of this band, and the band was quite, I think it was progressive rock, but Demis Roussos was a Greek fellow who used to sing. He became famous as well with German Schlager, we call them. I mean, they're not pop songs. They're more easy and popular, like goodbye, my love, goodbye, auf Wiedersehen. Ich freue mich, euch gesehen zu haben. Das war wunderschön. That. I mean, and he was like this from his 10 kg gyros eating. It was great. Cool. Aphrodite's Child. Yes.
I'll look that up.
I sent you the link if you can find it. I will listen to that tonight when I'm gonna cook, because I still have a steak for myself after our talk, and then good idea. So, but back to your school and your influence and all. I find it always interesting, so because we both the same age, and how music influence your life and your career or not career or whatever. So you start them with not with a band, you more with your trumpet, but then you got your guitar with 13, 14. And did you start? Have you been self-taught, or did you get as well guitar lessons?
Well, from that, I'll back it up again. I had the guitar, they would check out in elementary school. There was their nylon string guitars, and so I learned the chords on that, and I picked out. This is when I started getting the ear, for music, and I could pick out a record So I do remember the first song that I picked out was Painted Black by the Rolling Stones, Painted Black.
Yeah.
And that and I just sat there, and I go, I'm gonna figure out that guitar line. And I just sat there, and I did it. And I finally was like, yeah, I did it. And
Okay, cool.
So I started so when I went into grammar school, I was still playing trumpet in the orchestra. And then that turned into a jazz band or stage band, they called it. And again, the teacher and one of the keyboard player and the Gary, they both noticed like, hey, this kid is just in there to get his credits and go home. He just like really has a tone. He's got a tone on the trumpet.
Talented, yeah.
And he actually practices and stuff. And
yeah.
So Gary took me home to his house after school, and we're still friends too in Burbank. And he started getting me into like progressive, what do you call that, fusion rock? What was it? Stanley Clarke, Chick Corea, and then people like Al Di Meola. Return to Forever was a big band.
How old
Return to Forever.
So you said 14, 15 you were then, huh?
Yeah, he was just coming at you with that stuff. And it's like, whoa, okay, this is a new thing. And I was digging it. He was just like, yeah. And so
but you were already familiar because you were listening to Frank Zappa, so it was not so completely.
Yeah, Frank Zappa, and he was really impressed that I came into class one day, and I had written out Frank Zappa and the Mothers did a song called Billy the Mountain.
Yeah.
It was this long, like half-hour long song, and I wrote out all the lyrics just from listening to the record and stopping it. And I wrote the whole like dialogue out. It was like a live recording. And it was like, wow, for a 12-year-old kid to do that.
Great, like, cool. Yeah. I can imagine
he was really impressed by that.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I was having problems outside of music class and just getting picked on a lot, bullied on a lot. And so I decided to stop going to class. And
you decided to stop going to the class. I
stopped going to school, like completely.
How old have you been there?
And at that time I was almost 14.
So you stopped. So you didn't went to school anymore?
No, I mean I would go check in at school and then just leave because I just didn't want to get my ass beat, by whatever bully of the week. And yeah, that was a tough time, except for music. Music was always my salvation. But,
did your parents know that you skipped the school?
They did know that because the school called them. And
so you just went. You didn't think about the consequences or what?
Yeah, and I didn't tell them about getting bullied a lot. I just figured that they would see the bruises I'd come home with and they'd figure it out. But no, I didn't. I never.
Bruises from what?
Getting punched every day.
Really?
Beat up. Yeah. So,
why?
Just because just bully jocks, whatever you call them. And
what is
America, that? A jock.
Yeah.
Is like they're usually like into sports, and they're bigger than you, and they just see you as a target. Well, I had a Polak. Well, they called it Polak last name. We're not even Polish, and Drojensky, and then Polak jokes were big back then,
so where did you hang around then? Was the heavy guys or what?
Oh, that was mostly in gym class, and some of these guys carried over from grammar school too. I knew them in grammar school, and they just later on in life we've gotten along. But I had like my friends, my little outsider friends, and then the jocks were just like kind of popular with the girls and they were good in sports. And
was it somehow like a gang or what?
Not a gang really, but just I don't know. They were just bigger than me, and they they can push around someone smaller. You know, if it was somebody big like them or bigger, they wouldn't do that. But
Probably not.
yeah, it's kind of like internet bullying today. You know, when you're on a
Sure.
when you're on a keyboard, you can just talk whatever shit you
So,
want, and then
so how long did you cope up with that?
not very long, because when I was 14, my parents said, "Okay, we're worried about this. We need to get Steve some help." And they found a group home in West LA called Vista Del Mar. And it was a place where you could go. You lived in there was 3 cottages there. And it was boys and girls. So the girls were in separate cottages. Boys were in another set of cottages.
Yeah.
And I could come home on the weekend. You know, my parents can come, family can come on the weekend. Just my mom at the time and my sisters and brother-in-law. And then during the week, they had an on-ground school there at Vista Del Mar. And in there, I met a girl named Karen Feder, Feder. And she kind of looked like Jimmy Page. She had like the long brown
Like
hair,
Janis Joplin.
and yeah, like no, like more like Jimmy Page, actually.
All right. Okay.
And she had those dragon pantsuits like Jimmy Page wore on stage, and she was just enamored by Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page,
All right.
and blues scales. So at that point, I had a little Fender. My sister and brother-in-law, they got me a Fender Mustang guitar, and I would sit we were smoking cigarettes like crazy too.
Yeah.
So at the break at school, you know, all the kids would just sit around and take a break, get something to eat, smoke their cigarettes, and
yeah. How old was 14, 15 as well, no?
Huh?
That was
14, 15. Yeah, 14, 15. Yeah. So Karen, I noticed she always had a guitar in her hand, acoustic guitar. And I'm like, yeah, I play guitar too. But I don't know. I can play the chords and I can kind of pick out a painted black or whatever, but I don't know how to do the bar chords. Can you show me how to do bar chords? And she goes, oh yeah, you just take your one finger, put it across the bar, the fret, I mean, and then just make the regular E, A, D chord.
Yeah.
And then you're ready to go. You can play anything. And I go, wow. That was just a mind-blowing experience. And
I can imagine that, because that was for me always a thing which I didn't got, because it was somehow too abstract for me. I don't know why. You know, you have sometimes sometimes a blockade in your head where you don't understand the universe, isn't it? Yeah.
So and then she showed me like little blues scale like solos, like, oh well, you don't really need to get too technical. You just need to know like this solo.
Just doing, absolutely. Just doing.
Yeah, you can bend.
Yeah.
I still didn't even know how to bend strings. I've learned that later on. That'll get in chapter 3 here. But yeah, she was really instrumental in teaching me that stuff.
Absolutely.
And, well, you got time.
I would say so. Because otherwise I'm getting too nervous that we can't continue anymore. We continue with this in a third part next week, and we listen in a minute to another song of Steven's bands. But further all, like I say, so you can go and you can you will find Steven on Facebook, Steven Drojensky. It's Steven Steven Drojensky, or you and then it's the Steven with his little dog on it, because he was hacked. or you're gonna go on Facebook to the I Love West Cork Artist page, I Love West Cork Artist, and you become member, and you can continue discussing with us online in this group. It's a lively group, and you can share your artwork as well. Or you're gonna go to Instagram, where I have my accounts. It's Detlef Schlich or ArTEEtude or I Love West Cork Artists. All three exist on Instagram. That's that. Or you're gonna go to www.arteetude.com, and you will find there more. You will find a lot of things in the shop, but you can't buy it because the shop was hacked. Might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Yeah. For now, but that will change. But not now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play a song from the band where Steve was playing guitar, for Moral Decay, and it's a quite short song. It's America. It's from the Sudden Death album. It was on the Sudden Death album as a soundtrack or something. It was out as well. There used to be a film called What's Up Rockers, and I think it was as well part of it, wasn't it? Do you know that?
No.
You might look it up. Maybe I think it was in What's Up Rockers is the name of the film, and it's somehow a controversial American movie because this photographer, he loves it to film shirtless teenage boys, so they already mentioned that there's this fixation on kids, and that was rather creepy,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that at least the album Sudden Death was somehow supporting or was as a soundtrack a little bit in this film, yeah, I would say that's when was it, 84?
Sudden Death.
Oh
no, that's 82. That's 82.
82. So yeah. Listen to
a little bit.
This is really an old school punk rock was
40 years old.
Yeah,
40 years old. Sure.
With dirty with dirty lyrics. So enjoy America, and bye, Stephen. Great to have you in the show.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you soon.
Care. Bye. See you soon. Yeah.
You have listened to ArTEEtude, West Cork's first art, fashion and design podcast. ArTEEtude, never so close again. That was too close.